Good morning. I am really excited to be here today. I'm Melissa Nielsen of Waldorf Essentials, and I'm going to be talking to you today about Waldorf at home after SB277. So this is pretty much targeted to our friends in California, but if you are living in a state where they're also planning to pass a mandatory vaccination bill that's going to sort of help you or make you lose your schooling situation, then this would be targeted to you too. So if you're watching and neither of those applies to you, but you know somebody who it does apply to, please let them know. There will be a replay of this on our page afterwards, so you'll be able to link it very easily. So I just want to start by sort of telling you who I am. So I'm Melissa Nielsen, and I've been a homeschooling mom for a lot of years. I have one child that's graduated, another one that will be graduating next year. I have a girl that's going to be in 10th grade in the fall. I have an almost 10-year-old, and I have a 5-year-old. So I've been at this for a long time. And when I started, there were no Waldorf schools near me. We lived in Idaho when I started. I had a Waldorf background in that I had gone to a Waldorf school as a child when we lived in Germany. And, And so I had a little bit of that background, and I sort of grew up with that. But I had no way to send my kids to a Waldorf school. And so at the time, I was living in Southeast Idaho and Northern Utah. We lived in both places. And at the time, I really just wanted to bring Waldorf to my kids, and I had no way to do it. And so, and that was a long time ago. So there were very few curriculum resources, and I began writing things for myself. I really delved into Steiner's lectures, really started to work on getting educated for myself. There were no, and this is more than 15 years ago. So there were no distance learning situations. So the distance learning had to come from me. It had to come from me studying and me really deciding that that's what I wanted. And so, I went ahead and I just got busy. And in doing that, I did a lot of learning. So in the last more than 15 years, I've studied a huge portion of all of his education lectures. I've written my own curriculum. And we have curriculum in our store that ranges from what you can do with your 4-year-old to your kindergartner all the way up through high school. So we've really been at this a long time, and I've really refined it for a long time. I worked with my own children, and then about almost 10 years ago, I started working really heavily with other families, really wanting to help others come to this. I had done a lot of sort of peer counseling online. My first love, and my first before this, I did midwifery work and lactation work. So I was very familiar with the peer and lay situation, and really started pulling from there. And so I started taking clients that also wanted to really be able to do this at home successfully. And that's been, like I said, almost 10 years ago. Waldorf Essentials, the way it is now, has it supports our family. My husband and I both work from home. I do a lot of the initial writing. He does our editing. He has a background in film and a degree in journalism. So he does our editing and also all of our filming work. And so, he's there as our support. And that's how we are able to do homeschooling together with a business. So if I didn't have a business, and for many years in the beginning when we were running our business, it was just me at home. He was still working as a newspaper reporter, and I was a homeschooling mom first. And so that's the place that a lot of our writing comes from. I understand what it's like to have children at home and in your hair every day. And if that's not something that you're used to, it probably freaks you out a lot. And that's something I want to help you get over. I want to help you move through that, and really be able to get to a place where you are feeling good and confident about your decisions. So I thought we would talk first about, sorry, I have my notes here in front of me. I want to talk first about, can you do this? and you absolutely can. My other job, other than being a Waldorf coach and curriculum writer, is I'm also a life coach. So I work to empower women to be able to do the things they want to do. And not just women, we work with families too. So I absolutely know you can do this. And that life coach in me will be behind you sort of as you're transitioning through this place. There are a lot of people that are going to tell you you can't do it. It might be well-meaning family. It might be the Waldorf teacher at the school that you're going to have to pull your child out of that will say, I don't think you can do this at home. And I really disagree. I really believe that this is education that is very spiritually centered, and you have it within you to bring it to your child. And I really believe that. I really believe that. So let's talk about some of your options right now. And again, this is going to center on sort of California's laws and sort of what has happened here. But this will apply to anybody who's sort of navigating that. And you'll just have to sort of check out your own state's laws if you're not in California as far as what the particulars are. But here in California, when you're homeschooling, your options generally are to use a charter school or independent study, or to file what's called a PSA or a private school affidavit. And the way the law is written now, or the way it sits right now, you even the charter schools, not all of them, but even the charter schools are going to require immunizations. So, and I really got passionate about this because my oldest son is vaccine damaged, and so we were very much so not going to vaccinate the rest of our children, and we wanted to be able to, when we heard about this law, because we filed a PSA, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but when we heard about this law, I was like, oh my goodness, this is really, not just from a homeschooling perspective is this a hard one, but as a mom of a child that has vaccine damage, I am very much on board with having medical choice. And I know that's not right for everybody, but if it's right for you, then you need to be able to have some choices and some options. So that's really what we want to talk about today, is sort of how you can have those choices and options. And again, so you have the option of a charter school. Most of them are still going to require you to vaccinate. So you really want to do a lot of homework. You really want to ask them, are you required by SB277 to have my vaccine records? And so, right now, really you have the option of getting a medical exemption. And that's not on the table for everybody, because not everybody needs one. Not everybody has a child that's vaccine damaged, so it allows the rest of your children to have that exemption. So, that may be something you really want to think about. The route that we take is a route that scares some parents, but I actually love it. And it's probably the homeschooler that came from Utah and Idaho in me that loves it, because I really don't like having a boss when it comes to that. I really like to be able to do what we want to do, and we set our own schedule, and I lay out my own lesson blocks, and I'm kind of grouchy that way. I really don't want anybody overseeing that. And so, and while that sounds like a really controlling place, I really feel like when we're talking about sort of our freedoms, and we're talking about this today on Memorial Day, when we're talking about our freedoms, the PSA is the ultimate in freedom. And so really, and we can help you sort of put all that together. It's not hard. But really what the PSA is you file that one time per year. And within that, you lay out the curriculum that you're going to be using, and you talk about that. You assign principal, director, teachers, and you let them know who your students are, and you file that one time per year. You have to keep attendance, and there is a chance that they can come and check those things. But if you're doing what you've laid out and what you've said you're going to do, then you'll be fine. This will be our third year filing a PSA in California. We lived in Utah and Idaho, but I am a California native, and we came home to California a few years ago, and this is really where I want to be. And SB277 or anything like that, they're not going to scare me out of California. I love it here. This is where I want to be. This was our dream space. We live in San Diego, and we've wanted to be here for a long time. And there's no government that's going to chase me out at this point. So I really want to help empower you to feel the same way. Again, the PSA is not hard to file. When it comes to sort of your day-to-day homeschooling, that's also something else that freaks a lot of people out. And I want to really reassure you that Yes, it is hard work, and yes, you do need to get started now so that you're ready in time for September. But you know, we help you sort of get community together. You probably have there's probably other families displaced from the same Waldorf school that have the same situation. So start a group together and find that community that you are going to be missing from the school. Also, ask the school how flexible they'll be. If they'll allow you to come for festivals still or do some extracurriculars, find out about that, because there are some gray areas in this law. So you want to be able to have a good relationship with the school and hopefully, and with some other people there in your community. You want to be able to know that you're not in this alone. And, you know, we have other options that we usually talk to people about. Create a co-op. When you create a co-op, then you're creating a cooperative of families that come together, that work and learn together. And that can be something that happens every day, or it can be something that happens once a week. We have a co-op down here in San Diego that I help run, and we meet one time per week for 3 hours, and the kids love it. And it's supplemental for our main lesson, so I definitely count that as a lesson day. And so that's definitely an option for you. Parent team teaching. Get together with another parent that maybe has a child in your grade and help each other. That's a great way to homeschool together, and it's a great way to sort of navigate this. Hopefully SB277 will eventually be challenged enough, and maybe it'll go away, and then maybe your options will be back open. But my aim is to really help you have the confidence, so if that doesn't happen and you are homeschooling for life, that it doesn't scare you and it doesn't stress you out, and it's something that you grow to love. I love being with my kids, and that's not this crazy, creepy, like, control freak, because my kids have a lot of freedom and we have a lot of fun. But I really like being with them, and they like being with us. I mean, one thing that I've really noticed as my older children have like grown and gone through their teenage years, and I'll say I have one son, my middle son, who transitioned to a public high school in 10th grade, chose to be vaccinated, and that was something that we were all supportive of because it was his choice. But all of my children, they know how to talk to you. They enjoy being with their parents. Of course, they have friend time, but they also understand and enjoy that relationship, because it's a much more loving relationship on a different level. And all of my teens have really bonded well with us. And so, yes, they can go and have their friend time and have a really good time, but they also really like being with their family. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed, was how it's fostered their care for their younger siblings and for others, others around them. They have this, because they're not only with their peer group every day, they have this ability to sort of talk to anybody. And Waldorf sort of works with that anyway in a school setting, where you've got the grades sort of working with each other. But I think at home it sort of kicks it up a notch. So those are wonderful things to look forward to if you're going to be bringing your kids home. So that's sort of your options as far as right now. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we can help. Now, I wanted this to be very informational, even if you choose not to use us, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a program that we've put together that's just for people that are coming brand spanking new. Brand new, even if you're not new to Waldorf, but you're new to like doing this at home and you're thinking, how in the world am I going to do this at home? So this program that we've put together is called Bringing Waldorf Home. And it will be available in the comments section of this video in just probably an hour or so after we get this done shooting this. It's almost ready. And what that will include is it will include all of the training that you need. And by training, I mean it will include how to hold your rhythm at home. It will help you understand the Waldorf curriculum so you can understand the big picture and also where your child is right now. It will help you understand temperament. It will help you with planning, with form drawing, with drawing and painting and modeling and all of those awesome things that they do in the school that you might be freaking out. I don't know how to do that at home. I teach you every bit of it. I also teach you how to knit and crochet and do needlework and all of the handwork pieces that you will need. So we have this program that is specially, it's our Thinking, Feeling, Willing program, but we have a special edition of it for our Bringing Waldorf Home families. And so we'll have the training. You'll also receive a hard copy of the curriculum of your choice. So here's a hard copy of our grade 2. And that is part of this. And you'll have a group that's just for beginners, that's just for people that are starting this. It'll be a secret group on Facebook that you can participate in, that you can ask all those questions that you feel silly about asking. You can ask them in this group, and it will be a safe, awesome place. And I will be very active there, sort of helping you as you transition through this. We'll also have video help. Lots of video help. I know how important it is for some people to not just be able to hear something, but to be able to see it as well. So I want to walk you through step by step all of your planning so that you do not feel lost. We have videos that we've already recorded and new ones that we're working on recording just for this program, so that it will be just for you in sort of in the space that you're in of working it all over and getting ready to get started. We'll have monthly calls that are just for this group, and ways for you to get connected with other families that are in the same situation. So we really want to help you work on that community aspect, because the community part is the part that stresses people out when they leave Waldorf. They think, oh, I'm going to be home, I'm not going to have community, how am I going to work on that? And I really want to help you to sort of overcome that hurdle, that it's not something that's hard. And it will take some challenging, and you'll do it, but it's not something that's undoable. So I absolutely think you can do that there. And we'll also, be working on just sort of having that all together. So we will have our Bringing Waldorf Home course that is phenomenal. It's a 1-year course, and we'll take you through every step. And that's going to be $247, and we'll have some payment options for you, and we'll have all of that available in the comments below the video, like I said, here in the next little bit. And I also want to open this up to some Q&A. So if you have questions and you're here live with us, please feel free to ask them now. And if you're sort of watching this later and you have questions, please leave questions in the comment box. I'm usually very quick to answer questions. I know that this is a time that's really stressful when you're sort of deciding this. And I know if you've got a situation where maybe both of you are working right now and you don't know how you're going to be able to do this. And so, I understand those things, and I'm also very happy to help discuss those things with you and help bounce some ideas around for you, so you can make this happen for your family. And I gotta say, I'm really sorry that so many families are in this spot. I've been a lifelong homeschooler, and I'm comfortable in this spot, but I know that that making this decision to homeschool, I didn't make it lightly. It took me a long time. And I'm super hard-headed, so once I decided, I was not going to go back on it. And I've definitely had those days where I thought, we're going to school. But they've been few and far between, because we have a good rhythm and a good commitment at home to doing this. And but if you're not, and if you're just starting out and you're thinking, what in the heck am I going to do? We're here to help you. I really want to help you feel confident in this and make the decision that's right for your family. Even if that means you decide, oh, we're going to just do some vaccines, or, if you decide this is what we're going to do for the year, and then we're going to decide at the end of the year what we're going to do. I think that's perfectly okay. This is a big decision. It's a hard one. Thankfully, it doesn't affect everybody right now. It only affects, from what I'm understanding, kids going into 7th grade and kids coming into kindergarten, or kids changing schools. So, the law has got some interesting areas to it. I've also heard of some charter school families that have not had to turn in their vaccination requirement information. So I do think it's about just sort of stepping your feet in there and figuring it out. And like I said, I'm happy to sort of be a sounding board for you. So feel free to send us an email. You can always get me at melissa@waldorfessentials.com, or you can leave me a message here or shoot us over an instant message on Facebook. We're always happy to help. So I hope this has been helpful and informational to you. And, like I said, we really want to help you be able to make those steps for yourself and your family and your children. And we want to help you be confident about it. So let us help you. Leave us a message and have a wonderful day. Bye now.